One of the first things people say to you when you tell them you're plant-based is, but where do you get your protein from? This is one of the biggest myths that is circulated about a plant-based diet, that you can't get enough protein. But no evidence supports that someone who eats a wide variety of plant-based foods won't meet their nutritional protein requirements. In fact, even athletes can meet their protein needs on a plant-based diet. Just look at Scott Jurek, ultramarathon runner who has won many titles and set many records, or Patrick Baboumian, vegan strongman who can bench press 210 kilos and deadlift 360 kilos, and Mike Fremont, a 100-year-old ultramarathon runner who holds 4 world records and is still lacing up his sneakers. In fact, you may be surprised to learn that although protein malnutrition is still prevalent in some areas of the world, it is virtually non-existent in developed countries. Yet we still hear the rumors that you can't get enough protein on a plant-based diet, and that meat provides a more complete protein, that your muscles are going to waste away if you only eat plants. Well, you're not here to listen to what I have to say, you're here to listen to what the science says. But before I get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about what protein actually is. Along with fats and carbohydrates, protein is one of the 3 macronutrients. It is essential and is needed for the building and maintenance and repair of almost all of the tissues in your body. This includes your bones, muscles, blood, hair, nails, and organs. It is something that you need to eat almost every day, as your body doesn't store it like fats and carbs. Protein is also a source of energy for your body. It helps keep your immune system strong and can also keep you feeling full longer. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. Protein is made up of 21 amino acids, and your body can make 12 of them, and the remaining 9 are essential because you need to get them directly from your food. So, as long as you're eating a variety of whole natural foods and enough total protein, you should meet your needs for all 9 essential amino acids. Okay, so this brings us to the next question. How much protein do you really need? In the US, the official recommended daily allowance of protein is 0.36 grams of protein for every pound of body weight. That means at 130 pounds, you need about 47 grams of protein per day. Of course, protein requirements may change depending on your age, activity level, or if you're pregnant or lactating. So, to find out your own protein requirements, follow these steps. Step number 1 is to find your p-value. Kids aged 4 to 13, that's 0.43. Adolescents aged 14 to 18, that's 0.39. Adults aged 19 to 64 that are moderately active, that's 0.36. Seniors aged 65 plus and special needs should be around 0.44 to 0.522. Step number 2, to calculate your protein needs, multiply your lean body weight in pounds by your p-value. All right, so now that we've looked at what protein is and how much you need, let's talk about the best sources of protein. And yes, we're going to find out what the science says about plant protein versus animal protein. Now, at face value, it doesn't matter whether amino acids come from animal or plant protein. However, protein is not consumed in isolation. Instead, it comes packaged with a host of other nutrients. The quality and amounts of fats, carbohydrates, fiber, sodium, and other nutrients in the protein package are what really matter, as they may influence your long-term health. So sure, animal foods contain a high amount of protein, but it is dubious whether it is worth the harmful effects to your health. In 2016, a landmark study was published out of Harvard. It involved more than 100,000 people and found that replacing animal protein with plant protein was associated with a lower risk of dying prematurely. They found that swapping just 3% of plant protein for any one of their animal proteins, like processed meat, chicken, fish, dairy, eggs, was associated with significantly lower risk of death. Just 1 year later, one of the largest studies was published in the British medical journal, involving more than 500,000 people. The researchers found that the consumption of red meat was associated with increased risk of death from cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke, and other cerebrovascular diseases, respiratory diseases, infection, kidney disease, chronic liver disease, and diabetes. So let's focus on cardiovascular risk for a moment. Meat is high in what we call advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which contribute to vascular damage. Meat also contains pro-inflammatory compounds such as arachidonic acid, saturated fat, and carnitine. It is high in heme iron, which has a pro-oxidant effect that can promote cardiovascular disease. Last but not least, meat also promotes the growth of unfavorable bacteria that can lead to the production of TMAO, which can cause blockages in the blood vessels of the heart and brain. Animal protein also increases the risk of cancer. So when we consume too much animal protein, the body increases its production of a hormone called IGF-1, or insulin-like growth factor 1. In early life stages, IGF-1 helps promote growth and development. However, later in life, IGF-1 promotes the aging process. And it's also been shown to promote the growth and proliferation of cancer cells. In fact, a whopping 80% of breast, bowel, and prostate cancers are attributed to dietary practices, particularly a high meat diet. Diets high in animal protein are also associated with increased risk of diabetes. As the main animal protein source, studies have shown red meat increases type 2 diabetes risk independent of fat intake due to the high impact of heme iron, nitrates, and advanced glycation end products. On the other hand, those who eat plant-predominant diets tend to have lower blood sugar levels, higher insulin sensitivity, and up to 78% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. So the science is pretty clear. Plant protein, with its health-promoting fiber, phytochemicals, vitamins, and minerals, is the real protein package and does not come with the harmful effect that animal protein does. Just make sure that you're consuming a variety of plant-based protein sources to meet your protein needs. Each food you eat will provide a slightly different pattern of amino acids, and you need a mix of those foods for optimal nutrition. So if you're wondering how you can add in more plant protein to your diet, you can try using mushrooms, beans, and even tofu to add a meaty texture to a dish. You can add hemp seeds or chia seeds to your smoothie, grab a handful of nuts as a snack instead of chocolate bar. You can add lentils or chickpeas to your favorite salad. Enjoy hummus or a nut butter with veggie sticks for a snack. And you can make delicious protein balls for something sweet. Now, before you go off into your kitchen to cook into the hummus, please like and subscribe to our channel, and please share in the comments your favorite plant-based snacks. And if you want to learn more about nutrition for optimal health, please check out this video here. We'll see you in the next video.